Hi, everybody. For those of you who don't know, I'm Aaliyah. I am your CPD chair for this semester. This Leadership in Action module is Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for Recruiting for Diversity. If at the end you want to learn more about ILA, please feel free to message me. This module is part of a bigger certificate program that you can use to get the official certificate from ILA. I can talk more about that later. But anyway, let's get started. So, from the ritual, the scholar who is not fortified with tolerance or open mindedness is certain to be conquered with prejudice. This is something to keep in mind throughout this module. So, the course objectives, the first is to define diversity and evaluate our chapter's state of diversity. The second is to learn how bias plays a role in recruiting. And the third is to discuss ways to create a more inclusive environment. So, to become more diverse, we must understand what diversity means. So, diversity is the state or instance of being different, having variety, or being dissimilar. More specifically, diversity has come to refer to having various and balanced representation of race, color, religion, national origin, ancestry, sex, gender identity or expression, sexual orientation, age, and disability. Many studies show that teams that are diverse after initial period of adjustment are more productive and more creative than teams who are much more similar and homogeneous. So why do you think that is? On your worksheet, please fill out your answers. The worksheet I'll reference when you need to fill things out, but it should be pretty straightforward. And diversity doesn't just happen on its own. Organizations such as Phi Sigma Pi and professional corporations actively seek members from a variety of backgrounds so as to ensure that they aren't inadvertently creating a homogeneous team and workplace. Sorry about that. So let's take a look at us. At the end of your answer of why you think more diverse teams work better, please tell me how diverse you think our chapter is. There is no judgment, and it's okay if you don't think that we're diverse because this can serve as a benchmark that we can improve on. In order to move forward in this module, we must understand bias. So bias is an unconscious feeling we have towards other people. It's important to note that most bias stereotypes do not come from a place of bad intent. It is just a deep-seated, unconscious stereotype that has been formed in our brains through years of different influences of the media, our friends, our family, often things that we don't have control over whether their opinions are given to us. So it's an unconscious feeling that plays a strong part in influencing our judgment of certain peoples and groups away from being balanced or even-handed in many different areas of life. So bias affects one's decision-making process in several different ways. It can affect perception, which is how we see and perceive reality, attitude, how we react towards certain people, behaviors, how receptive or friendly we are, attention, which aspects of a person we pay the most attention to, so skin color, smile, personality, clothes, listening, how much we actively listen to others, and microaffirmations, how much or how little do we comfort certain people in certain situations, and this can be as little as nodding and making eye contact during an introduction of someone who's interested in the pie. These affect our decisions on who we interact with and later who we decide to induct into our chapter or invite to our chapter. So how does bias affect the recruitment process? The most common way is similarity bias. We naturally surround ourselves with people we feel are similar to us. And as a result, we tend to want to work more with people who are like us. Again, this is not always from a place of bad intent. It makes sense, but we should strive to kind of broaden our horizons. Here are some of the different type of biases that can affect recruitment. So conformity, caused by peer pressure; beauty bias, the most handsome or beautiful individuals are often the most successful because we are drawn toward them; affinity, based on a similarity or relationship. So, for example, we grew up in the same town, or this person reminds you of someone you know and like; and confirmation bias, so looking for evidence to back up our own opinions of a person. So if we think this person is going to be, dumb, we look for times where they may not have been as eloquent. And even though they were very smart, we focus on this minute or not as frequently occurring behavior to confirm our bias. So now let's talk about ways we can combat our biases and embrace differences to be more inclusive. So the first one is to learn about backgrounds, lives, and interests of potential new members. Building relationships through increased understanding and trust helps to foster inclusion that is more natural. And recognize and acknowledge special days and events. So this could be Pride Month, International Peoples of Disability Days, Black History Month. These are just to name a few, but recognizing these can create a more warm environment to everyone. So being inclusive also means that we are going above and beyond to be accommodating. So if you want to pause the video and do the worksheet where you write 3 ways that our chapter could be more inclusive. And for the next question, I know we can't discuss our chapter options together synchronously. So in this section, I want to write which of your 3 ideas you feel the most passionate about or believe that the chapter should take special notice of. Also, it should be noticed for all of the resources and ideas for being more inclusive, you do not need to take notes on the right. You can leave those blank, but if you want to take notes, feel free to. It will not count towards your participation grade. There is a no one-size-fits-all approach to our chapter becoming more diverse, but by thinking and brainstorming new ideas and understanding our chapter by being conscious about how biased decision-making works, we are taking the first steps to becoming a more diverse chapter. So some of the things we can do is attend a cultural event on campus, team up with the LGBTQ+ office to plan an event on campus, work on making events and meeting spaces accommodating for everyone. As you know, I'm also the PR chair, so if there's a particular organization that you want me to highlight, I more than welcome you to contact me and we can get something worked out. Also, broadening your friend group within the pie can help to diverse just your friend group and, make connections. So maybe talk to the brother that you haven't talked to before, or leave the clique of people that you know are similar to you. So if these interest you, please check out these modules on LIA's website. We have diversity, equity, and inclusion leading the conversation, so that's different than the one I'm doing now. Strategic planning, the perfect pitch, which I believe we did a few semesters ago, and strategic planning, turning strategy into action. If you haven't already, enroll in LIA. The points you earn can lead to the certificate. So this one is worth 6. I believe you need 75 to get the full certificate. And then here's the link to visit, and then you enter this code to claim your 6 LIA points. You do not need to claim the 6 LIA points to get the CPD point. You just need to send me your worksheet. And then I said that. That's the end of this presentation. Finally, if you could please fill out the 3-2-1 action plan, which are the last pages of your worksheet, and send me your responses. Please be sure if you email or message me that your name is attached to at least the message. If you could attach it onto the worksheet, that would also be great. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and I look forward to reading your responses, and stay safe.